Now a certain man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village where Mary and her sister Martha lived. So the sister sent a message to Jesus, "Lord, look, the one you love is sick." When Jesus heard this, he said, "This sickness will not lead to death, but to God's glory, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, so when he heard that Lazarus was sick, when Jesus learned that Lazarus was sick, he remained in the place where he was for 2 more days. When Jesus arrived in Bethany, he discovered that Lazarus had been in the tomb 4 days already. When Martha learned that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary was sitting in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will grant you." Jesus said, "Your brother will come back to life again." "I know, my brother will come back to life again in the resurrection at the last day. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even if he dies, and the one who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" "Yes, Lord. I believe you are the Christ, the Son of God who is coming into the world." Now when Mary came to the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." And when Jesus saw her weeping, and the people who had come with her weeping, he was intensely moved in spirit and greatly distressed. Jesus wept. Thus, some of those who had come to mourn said, "Look how much he loved him." But some of them said, "This is the man who caused the blind man to see. Could he have done something to keep Lazarus from dying?" Well, Jesus, intensely moved again, came to the tomb. Now it was a cave, and a stone was placed across it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the deceased, said, "Lord, by now the body will have a bad smell because he's been buried 4 days. Didn't I tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" Having said this, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" And the one who had died came out. His hands and feet were tied with strips of cloth, and a cloth was wrapped around his face. Jesus said, "Unwrap him and let him go." Then many of the people who had come with Mary and had seen the things Jesus did believed in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and reported what Jesus had done. So the chief priests and the Pharisees called the council together and said, "What are we doing? This man is performing many miraculous signs. If we let him go on this way, everyone will believe in him. And the Romans will come and take away our sanctuary and our nation." Then one of them, Caiaphas, who was high priest that year, said, "You know nothing at all. You do not realize it is more to your advantage to have one man die for the people than for the entire nation to perish." So from that day, they planned together to kill Jesus.